Good morning, Dave. Question for you thank you, sir. As far as Mookie is concerned, 3 walks last night. First time this season he's walked 3 times in a game. Just the ninth time in his career he's walked 3 times in a game. But it comes on the heels of him striking out in the game before. So he has the ability to seemingly kind of turn things around relatively quickly. What have you noticed as far as that's concerned? If he gets into any sort of lull, it doesn't last long.
I think it just speaks to his the consistency of his approach as far as his at bats, which vary with from pitcher to pitcher, certainly situation to situation, but his ability to control the strike zone is next level. And even if there have been some strikeouts looking, he's just very stubborn in his approach, which leads obviously to a lot of success and on base.
You guys have Major League Baseball, the trade deadline tomorrow. What sort of challenges are presented to you and your front office in a year in which it's a 60-game season, so you're basically getting a guy for a month versus two, and not knowing what 2021 brings as far as who you may or may not be willing to sign based on the uncertainties?
I think first and foremost, it's got to be something for our club that's going to move the needle. We've got talent, all around the roster. So something that potentially moves the needle, and just kind of the way we work, that 1 month, 2 month rental just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So if something were to happen, most likely it's someone that we'd have control of. But again, those are just kind of parameters. But like I've said before, I love where we're at. But Andrew and guys in the baseball ops are kicking tires and talking to other guys. But it takes two teams to make a deal. So, we'll see what happens.
So it's not a matter of just make a move to make a move. Kind of the approach you take in winter meetings as well, that you don't have to necessarily do something to say that you did.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's a good position to be in, where you don't feel there's a need.
Right.
So I just think that our guys are, some guys are starting to really trend in the right way and trend up. Some guys have been performing all year. That's pitching, defense on the offensive side. And the depth is there. We've done a good job, training staff, strength and conditioning, keeping guys healthy. Guys are adhering to the rules and protocols with the pandemic. So, so now when you talk about getting a player, it's certainly got to be somebody that moves the needle for our club.
Finally, for me, Doc, how much value do you put in winning series? You guys are the only team left in the bigs this year that hasn't dropped a series. I hope I don't jinx you on that, but how much value do you put in it?
A lot. I think that number one, we're just trying to win as many games as possible. But when you talk about winning series, you continue to win series and you'll ultimately be the champion. So that kind of mindset of winning series is certainly at the forefront of our minds, and that's the goal every time we go into a series.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next question is from Dave Vassay. Go ahead, Dave.
Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Dave.
I was curious if Mookie has mentioned his feelings about wearing 42 in a Dodger uniform this week, and has he said anything to you?
You know what? There's just been a lot of talk, in the past couple of weeks, certainly this week. So I know how he feels about it, but I haven't really brought it up, because we're kind of answering a lot of questions and thoughts from a lot of people from different angles and directions. But I can certainly say how, it's an all moment for him to be wearing 42, Jackie's number, in a Dodge uniform. I know that.
Dave, as far as your bullpen goes, it feels like that 3 minimum batter rule hasn't affected your relief pitchers. Is it because of them individually, or is it because of the pitchers you identified to be able to handle the new parameters of pitching in relief this year?
It's a combo. I think that one is the talent, and you got to give credit certainly to the individual pitchers. And the other part of it is that those guys understanding to have weapons to get left and right out. And the other part is Josh Barr's done a great job of instilling the kind of culture in the pen, as far as when you get the baseball, you pitch and you And whether it's an up-down situation to kind of combat the 3 batter minimum, our guys have done that. So that's not an issue with our pen. So it's a combo, but to each man, those guys, Dave, have done a great job.
Is Baez progressing in the right direction?
He's progressing in the right direction, but now it's just kind of he's doing some jogging. There isn't still any kind of stretching the arm out or any kind of pen, so he's a little bit of a ways away.
How much do you miss him and what he does as far as answering the bell almost every time that you call down there?
Yeah, we miss him a ton because he's a guy that I've always counted on in leverage. But what happens though is that you give other guys opportunities and see what they can do, and so we've done that, and guys have certainly done well. But I'm anxious to get PD back.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Next question is from Ken Gurnick. Go ahead, Ken. Go ahead, Ken.
Dave, on Ross Stripling, obviously he's been giving up home runs on the fastball, and he did it again last night toward the bottom of the order. And he was throwing a lot of first pitch fastballs first time through. Is that an indication of tipping or sequencing or something else?
I think I don't think it's tipping. I think it's sequencing is one part of it. Where I think you saw that second time through, he was mixing his sequences up better. And also it's a command thing. So Ross is, throughout his entire career has had very good command, but this year the fastball command just hasn't been located well. But I thought the second time through, he did a really nice job.
Thanks.
Next question is from Bill Plunkett. Go ahead, Bill. Next question is from Rowan Kavner. Go ahead, Rowan. Next question is from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave, you guys have the next 2 days after today list your starting pitchers listed. Who's that third day? Have you guys made a choice?
No. So I do know, obviously, Julio's going to go on Tuesday, but it's all Walker threw yesterday in the pen, and it was 34, 37 pitches. Came out of it really well. It was the blister through it uncovered, which is a good thing, and I think he came out of it well. So, with Walker and Clayton, just trying to figure out when we're going to pencil those guys in. So right now, Jorge, I don't have an answer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Try this again. Go ahead, Bill.
Sorry about that, guys. Wi-Fi dropped.
Hey, Bill.
Morning, Dave. 2 days in, what do you think of the new stadium and the way it suppresses offense?
I think the stadium is great. I think they did a great job as far as kind of the playing surface, all the stuff around the locker room. Certainly, it definitely suppresses offense. I'll be interested to see how long it takes for these guys to move the fences in. It's completely contrasting the old ballpark at Arlington, the way that played. But unless you're going to have a defense that kind of lends itself to, covering ground in the outfield. But they did a great job.
One of the ideas being kicked around by MLB is a postseason bubble where the NL playoffs would be held there. What do you think that does to a team that, maybe currently leads the National League in home runs?
Yeah, I get it. I get it. And we still hit a couple last night. But you still have to, it's a level playing field for both clubs. And, as far as the bubble, if that's what's kind of put in front of us, I'm all for it. And if it's playing games here in the World Series, I'm all for that too. And you still got to find a way to beat that opponent, not the ballpark.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Got time for one more. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, Dave, do you have an update on Justin Turner, and is he still pretty much on track to hopefully return on Tuesday?
He's feeling better today. I know it doesn't affect his hitting. So that's a good thing. He'll come in tomorrow on the off day, going tomorrow to the ballpark and get more treatment. So I think that probably the best case scenario is to see him DH on Tuesday. But if that doesn't happen, then we'll push it back until he's ready.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.